personnel. At least 10 people are said to have been killed in an Israeli airstrike in central Gaza. Israel says it was targeting a Hamas command center. The Taiwanese leadership has held an emergency meeting over the large-scale military exercise Beijing is conducting around the island. China says the maneuvers are meant as a warning against what it calls separatism. The Taliban says it will ban the depiction of all living things on news media. Despite the plans, officials from the Islamist group have themselves regularly posted pictures of people on social media. South Korea says the North may have begun preparations for cutting cross-border road connections. Last week, Pyongyang said it would destroy transport links with the South. The first case of Mpox has been confirmed in Zimbabwe. The disease has been spreading from the Democratic Republic of Congo. The WHO has declared a global health emergency. The British Foreign Secretary is taking part in an EU Foreign Ministers meeting for the first time since the country left the bloc. The new Labour government is hoping to improve ties with Brussels. 20 universities in Europe are working to improve training on the health impacts of climate change. It will focus on mosquito-borne diseases and the dangers of high temperatures. BBC News.
Welcome back to part 2 of the History Hour with Max Pearson. This week, looking at developments in the field of advanced tech and AI. Still to come, the invention of the QR code and a machine...
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, Put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy. JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy. JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenating, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Though your heart is aching, smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is
UK.
Starr Radio
UK.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Oh, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute you and welcome you to the Monday edition of the Morning Show. Today is Monday, the 14th day of October 2024, and it is a very wonderful day here in London where there have been lots of rain, but they're saying that it's going to be a nice day. The temperature is going to be about 15 degrees thereabout. But whatever it is, I don't know where you are listening to us from this morning, but let us know how the weather is like. But hey, there are a lot of things that we're going to be talking about this morning, and I want you to be part of it. Don't even think of touching the dial at all, because, well, it's going to be a smash of a program. But let me say good morning to my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, right this morning to you, and thank you very much for all the wonderful work that you continue to do. To my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who will be joining us at 11 o'clock. Well. The 1 million man took place. The birthday, the party took place on Friday as well. We're going to tell you more about all that. So wherever you are, just be on there and we will be sharing that with you. Let me say good morning to Kojo D. Felix, good morning to you. Shamsuddin, good morning. HRH Linda Pallien, who will also be joining us during the course of the program as well, all the way from Cyprus. And Yasantua, good morning to you all. Let me say a special good morning also to Bishop Adeshina, Anthony Adedeji, Aziz, Rachel, and every one of you. Atakofi, let me say good morning to you. Atakofi had a very busy weekend, but this morning I've downloaded the music and we'll be sampling it, not today, but during the course of the week once I've listened to it. But I know that with a few music that you have sampled from your end, it's been quite a good one. So let me say good morning to you as well. And to the Honorable Chief of Asherman, massive good morning to you all. And to my head pastor, Apostle Henry Bruce, massive good morning. To every one of you who's tuned in this morning. Our money man, Mr. Dan Teberi, CEO of GL Accountancy Services, good morning to you and to the family as well. So once again, welcome to the program. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. So let's crack on. So I'm going to bring you the quote for the day. The weather forecast will follow suit. Then the travel update. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, and that is known as global trotting. We then continue from thence having a look at the details of those stories. At 11 o'clock exactly, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to say, but we might have a special guest on the show this morning. Yes, if time permits. But I'm not going to say anything. Let me just leave it like that. Yes, when the special thing comes, you experience it by yourself as well. Special person. And then we'll move on from there. I'll be bringing you some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. Well, Ghana is going to go in for elections. Is it the 7th of December or the 6th of December, whichever date there. There'll be some clashes between the top political parties. We'll be bringing you more about that. What is the way forward? Now, the Galamsey menace. Yeah, I remember last week we were talking about that. Let me say thank you very much to Mrs. Patricia Roxanne Hammond as well, my daughter-in-law, who sent us lots of information pertaining to that as well after she wrote a piece on that. The state of emergency that they were thinking that the president is going to declare. If not, organized labor were going to embark on a strike. A lot more from there. And what is happening in Israel, the Middle East as a whole? Well, Israel is saying, well, we're going to be avenging or revenging. But, well, somebody say, vengeance belongs to God. He says, I will repay. So what about that? But I will be telling you more about all that. They said they're going to avenge. And there's lots of clashes there. People have losing their lives. We'll tell you more about all those bits. Well, come the 5th of November, the U.S. also goes for elections. How is it all going on? How are the polls like? Lots more coming your way. Stay tuned and don't you go away. Now, the quote for the day says, your destiny is not tied to the situation in which you were born. So you could be born in poverty, in some village somewhere, and don't let that be the determinant of your destiny. Somewhere, somehow, if you are able to look and then see things the way others look and see, there is a tendency that you have your path being crossed by somebody, a destiny helper, who will be helping you to get to that place. So, somewhere, somehow, you get there. Now, it's going to be turning drier for many this afternoon, but it will stay largely cloudy. There is a chance of the odd spot of light rain or drizzle locally as well. Tonight will continue largely cloudy with only the odd clearer spells at times, largely dry, but there may be the odd spot of rain, light rain or drizzle in places. Top temperature is going to be 13 degrees and the lowest is going to be 9 degrees. UV level is going to be low and pollution is going to be low. Sunset 1808 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 0724 hours, and that brings us to the end of the weather forecast. Straight to the travels as well. On the underground this morning, as I would say, keep your eyes on the roads, as we keep it navigated. On the underground, the Victoria line has got minor delays while they fix a faulty train at King's Cross. That aside, all the others are running a good service. DLR London Tram Link and London Overground Goods Service there as well. On the major roads in London, no exceptional delays. The River Bus is also running a good service apart from the Woolwich Ferry that's running a reduced service. So check before you leave. The London Cable Car good service there, taking us straight to the final segment of the travel update. That is the National Rail. On the National Rail this morning, Cross Country has got special service. Great Western Railway, minor delays. Island Line, special service. Northern Rail, special service. Scott Rail, special service. Southwestern Railway, special service. Southeastern, minor delays. And Thames Link, minor delays there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And that's how I will say it once again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes where? On the roads. Okay, we're just going to be going on straight because we want to have ample time when we come to Olayomi Koiki joining in, most probably our special guest as well. Yeah, I'm not going to be saying anything until it happens. All right. Okay then. So now let's move on. When it comes to some of the stories I'm going to be looking at here in the UK, I lost 165,000 pounds to fraud in an hour. Customers say they were let down by Revolut. Revolut was named in more complaints about fraud last year than any of the UK's bank or e-money services. And then in other stories as well, the banks will be telling you, so at times I go shopping or something, and then the bank will be doing it. They'll stop me from then. I have to now, instead of just touch and go now, I have to do the pin. I have to put the pin, chip and pin. Yes, to get the transaction going through. Someone will pledge to scrap red tape at UK Investment Summit. Is making the round. Children must not pay price of council cuts, Commissioner says. What is it all about? An abusive ex-girlfriend banned partner from using toilet. Oh boy. Okay. What did the man do? Now, deadly Hezbollah drone attack on army base shocks Israel as 51 killed in strikes across Lebanon. Israeli shelling of Gaza school kills at least 15. And then fighting Russia and low morale on Ukraine's most dangerous front line. And a man with guns arrested near Trump's rally, then released. Well, maybe he wasn't planning to attack Trump. That wasn't it. But you know, they carry guns and stuff like that. But I'll be telling you more about that. And China holds new drills to punish Taiwan's president's remarks. Well, you want to know more, you have to stay with that. 8 dead as violent storms sweep Brazil after worst ever drought as well. A whole tree, I bet you that tree is more than 50 years. I mean, the trunk just coming off. That is quite a dangerous one there. Yeah? I'm going to tell you more about that. Try or die, one man's determination to get to the Canary Island. Well, that is the Lepers theory thing. And Kenya Chepngetich breaks marathon world record, and we say congratulations to him. Lupita Nyong'o speaks of family ordeal and condemns chilling Kenya crackdown. And then pioneering South African politician dies aged 65. Who is he? We're going to be telling you more about all that as the program goes on. God never planned suffering for Nigerians. That's what Obasanjo is saying. How true is that? Well, some people say, God said we have to suffer. When you become Christian or become Muslim, you don't have to be. So we are suffering because God planned us to do so. No, it's because our leaders have failed us. Well, so Obasanjo is saying that Nigeria not snapped in UN Human Rights Council election, and Libya is hostage taking. Federal government told what to do after Super Eagles disturbing information. We'll be telling you more about that. And then Archie sends crucial message to Tinubu over harsh reforms. But it's gone on for some time now. So what do you think is all happening there? Lots more going to be coming your way. But of course, the dinner night that took place last Friday, we're going to be telling you more about that. In honor of Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho, who was the special guests. Yeah. And then the 1 million match. How did it all go? Going to tell you more about that once we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki on as well. In other stories making the rounds, the shift from traditional methods to portable ultrasound in Kenya. You look at some of the health care that our people are receiving, and you ask yourself the question, are we for real? South Africa expects Democratic Labour Minister for former Reserve Bank Governor Tito Mboweni has died. Okay, lots more going to be coming your way from there. Well, MPP lecturers also voted for halt Galamsey strike. I see this upon is saying Akufo-Addo never fought against illegal mining. Kojo Mafo, I wasn't expecting them to do anything good. Professor Charles Mafo slams organized labor's leadership. And then Boteman Sports Complex to produce more medal-winning athletes for Ghana. Mustafa Yusuf is saying, Parliament, we are confident of becoming the majority on Wednesday. Haruna Idrisu is saying, well, for what? For what? Majority for what? Lots more going to be coming your way. Eyewitnesses share chilling details of East Legon car crash that got 2 ladies burned to death. Has Mahama rescinded his decision to release the jailed illegal miners? Did Owusu Bempah ever display his party card? Those are some of the stories making the rounds this morning as well. The state of emergency won't stop Galamsey without community action, Brian Champon is saying. But what do you think about all that? This all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But we have Akufo-Addo, who has begun a 2-day tour to the Savannah, Northern and Northeastern regions today. Well, it was being trooped in there by Ghanaian citizens there. But we'll see the picture before me. Is it a current one or what? Now, Akufo has added its voice to the Galamsey men. It's Akufo urges academia to lead Galamsey fight. You want to know more? You got to stay tuned, because for now, we're going to be taking updates from Mr. Olayomi Koiki, as I did say, because lots of events do take place last Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday as well. So we'll be going to Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios, where he's all ready to fire on all cylinders. And let me say, good morning to you, Yomi.
Well, good morning back to you, Mr. Archie in the studio, and a very good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the world, and welcome to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, where like it is Archie and myself, and it is also the engineer and the crew that are working quietly behind the scene. And like you said, there's quite a lot to discuss. There's a lot happening in Nigeria, but there's also a lot happening with the Nigerian diaspora. But as you say, we'll be talking on each one of these discussions. Sorry we couldn't communicate throughout last week. It was a lot of engagement, but I can tell you that if all goes as planned, we might have Chief himself speaking with us on this live program tomorrow.
Okay, so as I said, I told you that I have a surprise, and Yomi has revealed that surprise to so Dr. Chief Sunday day and where you go home will be joining us tomorrow. Okay, good. But Yomi, first of all, for the sake of our listeners, because there was a lot of activity, so I was telling listeners that's why you will not be able to come on, because preparation for the dinner night, and then the million march as well, and then the yesterday's birthday celebrations in Manchester. So there was lots of things that was going on. So let's start from where we are with the dinner night. How did it go, and how was the atmosphere, and how was the support, the number, and everything? Tell us more from that.
Well, as expected, you made it known to the Africans, the Nigerian in the UK, that we will be hosting, Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho for a dinner, and that dinner was held on Friday. Igboho himself flew into, UK from Stansted Airport, where we pick him up from Germany, and from there he was able, to travel, because the good thing about UK is that you never know what the motorway will look like, and that means that sometimes there could be heavy traffic. So we took the train, the fast train from Stansted Airport straight to Liverpool Street, and again because Igboho wanted to use that as a kind of highlight, to give back to those back home why Yorubas and Nigeria's transportation system have failed. So we then head from there with with an executive vehicle that was waiting for him to pick him up from Liverpool Street, straight into the dinner where a lot of dignitaries that bought the ticket were all seated and waiting for him. And the dinner, I can tell you, was very fantastic. We just do not have enough to cover everything on the Star Radio UK. But what I can tell you in summary, that people that flew in from New York, from Dublin, from all over the world, because most of them have not been able to see, Igboho himself, apart from, on the social media where, Igboho engaged, a lot of, people. But eventually, like I said, Igboho himself, was more than excited, to be part of these, important dignitary that left everything that they were doing to be there to celebrate his birthday. And like I said, quite a lot of development happened in that birthday. We might have tomorrow, like I said as well, maybe through the phone call, another important VIP that flew in from, New York to grace the occasion with Igboho, known as the Sister Lejadu Taiwo. They have been part of a system that have been asking for humanity's sake and the purpose of respecting dignity, especially during the Biafra War. She came in as well to grace the occasion with Igboho. But for now, I'll return back again to you in the studio where we can continue with the discussion to then take you to what happened the next day that led to us, traveling into the most important black door you can think of in the UK, and that is number 10 down the street.
Well, listeners, if you don't know, those of you who are watching us who don't hail from the UK or who don't live here, and you've not, at times when we were doing the broadcast and we have Yomi at Downing Street, we did show you the black door. But these are pictures behind Mr. Olayomi Koiki showing their presence at the in front of the black door, right? Good. At number 10 Downing Street. But interestingly, now, so with the dinner night going smoothly and nicely, graced by very, very prominent individuals, which will be coming to that again. Now, how did the million match go? How many people were able to gather last Saturday? Hello, Yomi.
Well, there was. Yeah, I can still hear you. If you can hear me back.
Yes, we can hear you.
You loud and clear.
Yeah. Go on.
Yes, the match went at exactly how we wanted it to be, and that means that with about 1,000 people that were on ground to grace the occasion. I hope my camera is still on back in the studio.
Yes, it is.
Not too sure if you can still see me.
It is on. We can see you. We can see. All right.
Yes. So what happened is the event went as expected and as planned. We have many people that drove in, that came through from the BBC broadcasting house, where Igboho himself led the possession of the rally. Then from there, we had the Red Road bus that also took the elderly people all the way straight into Trafalgar Square. But the most important thing is, Regent Street is one of the most important high street because of the high-end shops and the very busy Oxford circles. So the road was completely closed throughout from the region, from the BBC all the way to number 10 Downing Street. And when we got there, like I said, at exactly 1400 hours, with the most important letter that was prepared by the leader of the movement himself, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, to tell Igboho to deliver this, letter. Eventually, that letter was delivered, on behalf of, Baba Akintoye to Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho. And that is the image, that you're watching right behind there. I'll get you a clearer one in just about a few minutes. But like I said, Igboho eventually, deliver, the letter on behalf of Professor Akintoye to the Prime Minister in the UK, Keir Starmer.
Good. Listeners, Star Radio UK updates from Nigeria, but we're bringing you events that took place over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday, with the Yoruba Nation and the organization, the dinner night and the Million March that took place. Now, let's talk about the atmosphere. When you go for rallies or marches like that, there is that atmosphere that charges people, that that people feel that yes, this is something that we are there to achieve something. How was the atmosphere like? And can you talk about the demographic of those who were there? I mean, ages wise and all that stuff.
Well, the good thing about the event is that a lot of people that were already tired, in terms of living in the UK, and the expectation that Nigeria will be a better place for them to relocate back home. So you would expect that, people in their 60s, in their 70s, in their 80s, most of them left everything that they were doing, to grace this occasion. And the reason because they wanted, the world to know and feel why the Yoruba people must now have their own independent country away from Nigeria. And that itself means that, it took a lot of planning, because you got to remember that when you're expecting people of that age, you must prepare, you must remember that we were also involving the Metropolitan Police. There was some other, because of the security threat as well to Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho's life, because there was a lot of rumor that kidnapping was going to happen, it was going to be thrown substances, and the Metropolitan Police assured us that everything was being taken care of. And the event atmosphere was charged, because not just only that, as we were passing through number 10 Downing Street, there was another beautiful event that we were already involved in, that we told them that we're going to be passing through together. Jesus, walk for Jesus. And that means, we were all merging together, because remember that Christians are being persecuted in Nigeria. Genocide is happening in Nigeria. So they were excited to see Igboho, shouting and screaming with his voice, that the Yoruba people are being marginalized, are being killed as Christians. In Kaduna, the Christians are being massacred, and more Boko Haram and terrorists. And then we were given the opportunity, to stay right in front of number 10 Downing Street for a very long time. And at exactly 1400 hours, 6 people, including myself, making it 7 as a journalist, went in there. I led the group into number 10 Downing Street, but Igboho was the one in charge to deliver the letter to the Prime Minister in the UK, Keir Starmer.
Wow, listen, that's quite an interesting event that took place there, and I for sure we'll be posting some of the images of those events, yes, on the platform and on the Koiki media as well. Go there, and all the other platforms that we broadcast on, and Koiki media and all the others, Yoruba Nation platforms. You have all those pictures there. So for those of you who weren't able to be part of it, next time you'll be part of it. Princess Adebimpe, let me say Adeyemi, good morning to you, and thank you very much. She's saying Yoruba Nation, no going back. Okay, but Yomi, one of the questions, whilst you were talking, one of the questions that because with the delivery of the letter to 10 Downing Street, I was asking myself the question: is it the first time that the Yoruba Nation has officially presented a letter to the UK government? Because we know that UK is the colonial masters of Nigeria.
And you're quite right, and that is one of the the concern of many people. We have to keep this wrapped, because we know that there's a lot of saboteur, there's a lot of people that wants to derail the movement. So this important letter that was delivered to number 10 Downing Street was kept very tight, because the petition, which is confidential, I myself doesn't know what is inside. Remember that we told you that Professor Akintoye, send that the letter all the way from the Republic, deliver it for me to hand it over to Igboho himself. Then what then happened is that many people that were in that gathering was very excited, and I can tell you that the reaction of that letter alone, when you go on the X, which is the Twitter, this morning or since Saturday, a lot of space have been opened, a lot of discussion on Igboho and Babakitoye. A lot of people thought, the Yoruba Nation was completely done and dusted, with the Yoruba since President Bola Tinubu. Even a lot of people say that Igboho in London means that President Bola Tinubu flew out of London to France ahead of Igboho arriving on Friday, maybe because he was a little bit concerned. Let us also remind our listeners that Tinubu has not yet visited number 10 Downing Street. So imagine that Igboho, visiting number 10 Downing Street, even though we have a president that has been in office for 1 year, but he has not yet, been invited, to number 10 Downing Street to see the Prime Minister. We know that the government in the UK changed over, just about, in July when we had our election.
Yeah, 102 days. Yeah,
it's like Igboho presenting this letter created a lot of what we called discussion, and I can tell you the reaction. These are some of the dailies coming out of Nigeria in the last 72 hours with Igboho visiting number 10 Downing Street. And some of the headlines says, the Vanguard newspaper says, Yoruba Nation, Sunday Igboho submit petition to the UK Prime Minister. The Daily Trust headline is, Sunday Igboho seeks the UK Prime Minister backing for Yoruba Nation. The Daily Trust says, Sunday Igboho submit petition to the UK Keir Starmer for Yoruba Nation. The Guardian, Nigeria, why we submitted petition on the Yoruba Nation, and the Sahara Reporter, breaking news, Sunday Igboho submit petition. And not just that, even the northern part of Nigeria have picked up news that they're also reacting to this letter. So it seems that what we did on Saturday has now ignited a kind of a different discussion, and I will probably say, it is just one out of many that will be happening before the end of this year and coming up to next year.
Okay, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. We're just touching up on some of the events that took place over the weekend with the Yoruba Nation and the presentation of a letter or a document to number 10 Downing Street to the Prime Minister. And as I said, well, the government have been in the government of the UK, that's the Labour government, or Keir Starmer's government, have been in office for I think 102 days. And who was the first Nigerian leader to go to the place? It is Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo. So has he outwitted the president himself, Mr. Bola Tinubu, and that's why Tinubu may have left the country before Igboho getting here. I thought they said Tinubu was in London to have a bit of respite to prepare for cabinet shuffle.
I think Tinubu probably did not want a situation where he's in the UK and Igboho is in the UK as well. So I believe he had to fly out as quickly as possible. That's my belief. But from what we are hearing, I think Tinubu, like you said, is meant to be on an annual leave, but probably maybe he wanted to spend a week in London and visit Paris for the following week.
Okay. For the sake of that, we'll just let it be like that. But Chief Sunday Igboho beat him to it. Okay. But we'll be going to some of the other stories. But a few people that we want to acknowledge for the organization of all these events that took place. Over to you.
Well, I would like to first appreciate, the Nigerian Yoruba community that graced the occasion. The weather was very good, but at some point, as we believe that, when things are going to go very good, it will go extremely very good. And what I can confirm is that as the petition was handed over, the rain started falling, and as a cultured man, as people that believe in tradition, we then realized that the message has been delivered, and the song that came out from Igboho's mouth is "O ti se o, Baba ti se o, ohun to n ba wa leru, Baba ti se o," and the translation means that what the fear that we are scared of, our fear has now been conquered. Our hope and desire for this event, whether it will happen today or tomorrow or in the next couple of years, has now been done. And like I said, Ifelodun Apapo Omo Yoruba, that is the main lead of the event itself. Also, I've traveled with myself. I can tell you, I'm reporting from Manchester. It's very cold down here, Mr. Archie. I can tell you that it's completely different, but I'm quite, in a very warm apartment where we've been lodged in. Igboho as well is in Manchester, I can tell you, but like I said, tomorrow we might be able to engage him, on the program and as well. You'll be visiting places, but we cannot reveal too much because of security details. But I can tell you that we can also say thank you so much to those that travel from Nigeria. Easy Aziz Badeshere flew out to Miami yesterday from Heathrow Airport from Terminal 3. He has already spoken to me. He has arrived back in Miami, and like I said, there's still few that are downstairs making prayer for Igboho and the Yoruba people. Oba Ogboni is right there, and also under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the YSDM, we'd like to be grateful to them that for bringing the Yoruba people together, and likewise the Yoruba World Media, and I can tell you that the chairwoman has also traveled with Igboho all the way yesterday. We had in the image that it has been circulating, the General Secretary of the Yoruba World Media was also presented when we were delivering the letter as well. We also have a man that has held very strong in the Yoruba rally in the United States of America, Prophet Ologoluwa, that flew in, was on the ground, and I can tell you he was in Manchester with us yesterday. He traveled back again to London on a late train to make his flight back to US at the early hours of this morning. So the sacrifice, the money spent, the time, we can only be grateful that this event went as we wanted it to be.
Wow. Listeners, updates from what took place over the weekend pertaining to the Yoruba Nation in the presentation. But finally, do you think that this has actually put a vim, up the momentum of the quest for the Yoruba Nation's formation?
Well, many people believe that since President Bola Tinubu came to power, it seems that there's a kind of a coerce, or there's a kind of money because that is what a politician does, and a lot of people believe that maybe Igboho, Baba Akintoye, or myself, or those that are campaigners, have been given some kind of money, or maybe we are just waiting for 2027 when we would then kickstart again. But what they did not understand is, the movement was almost derailed when Tinubu used, another individual, and this is not allegation, this is what we know, because Tinubu has always, before he becomes the president, record shows and records are there that he has always done everything to break any organization that have got to do with the Yoruba hopes, into two. And the Yoruba movement was divided into two, but the strategy to bring it back slowly has kicked back. And this particular event on the 12th of October will be in the history book, that for the very first time, we're not talking about Nigeria. I've lived here for 25 years, over 2 decades and a half. I've never seen any protest or rally, even during the EndSARS, that the road was completely shut down. We're talking about road being shut down all the way from the most busiest high street in London, Oxford Circles, all the way straight to the Prime Minister. That is something that will go in record, for the Yoruba people, and next generation will be able to know the sacrifice that was put in whenever, because nobody knows when the nation will eventually become reality. But what we have done is exactly what other countries have done to become independent country that many of us have enjoyed today, and many people will still like to go and live there.
Wow. Listeners, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. So like me, Koiki in Manchester. I'm here, Archie here in the South Studios in London, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. Before we move on to some of the other stories making the rounds in Nigeria, Princess Adibempe says that, I wish him a safe trip back. Well, we wish everybody who was part of the program a safe trip back, so that and all your sacrifices, we acknowledge it, and we pray that the quest that you are standing in for and the sacrifices, may God richly bless you all. Okay? Good. Now let's come to some of the other stories making the rounds in Nigeria. Dangote meets marketers Tuesday over new petrol price. Now, last week we thought that Dangote, we've been talking about it like a month ago, talking about Dangote's fuel coming onto the market, and we thought that the prices will drop. We know that the president has given him the chance that he will be sold the crude oil in naira, not dollars, and thinking that could bring the prices a bit down for consumers. But it looked like last week they had issues when the prices have gone up. NNPC saying also
NNPCL, you're right, yes.
NNPCL saying also saying that now they are not going to be part of it. So there's a lot of chaos, confusion going on there. So can you throw more light on it and what this meeting is all about with Dangote?
Well, the issue between the ongoing between the Dangote refinery, and the expectation by many Nigerians is that, when Dangote refinery is up and running, probably maybe the price will drop ridiculously. But I can tell you, as at last week, the petrol was going to about almost 1,000 naira, per liter. Quite expensive for a country that produce, or is probably not producing, but that have one of the highest crude oil in the country. And you're quite right, the independent petroleum marketers of Nigeria is now poised for talks with Dangote. This is coming up between tomorrow and Wednesday. I'll be following that and I'll be reporting that back to you in the studio, Mr. Archie. They have now finalized what they called a sort of an agreement to the cost of lifting the petrol from the plant. It was learned that yesterday the Petroleum Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria had been asked by the 20 billion Lekki-based refinery to rescind its request for petrol lifting. First and foremost, do we have the network, to move this petrol into all part of the 36 states? We don't have it. The logistics is very heavy, and what we have said so many times is that a country that did not prepare for the future and the future that we have been told that we will have is no longer there today. So the petroleum expressed their optimism that the cost of petrol might reduce in the coming days. I will be monitoring that and I'll be reporting back to you, Mr. Archie, when we come on air.
Okay, listeners.
And if I can go straight from there
go on to
what,
the others.
The Peter Obi saying in the last couple of days. I mean, I've just picked that up as well. It is unfortunate and insensitive. Peter Obi speaks on the fresh petrol price hike. We know that Peter Obi was a presidential aspirant, contested to the 2023, but he lost the election. He's a politician, a Labour Party in 2023 election. Peter Obi has now described the latest increase in the price of the premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, as unfortunate, insensitive, and is urging the government to reverse the hike.
Will the government be able to reverse the hike, or are we going to still see people struggling with everything that is going on? You want to know more, you got to stay with us, because there are a few other stories that Yomi is going to bring in your way. Atuko should stay away from contesting elections, says for your share, and international customers owe Nigeria 5.7 million for electricity. Yomi, tell us more about all those stories.
Well, NEPA has been an issue, for a very long time in Nigeria. And there's what they call the Band A and the Band B. But it seems that even the Band A are complaining now that, yes, I mean, they have stable electricity, but they are still also complaining. So two story, one about a couple of days, and I'll be telling you the one today as well. International customers owe Nigeria $5.7 million for electricity. Who are these international customers? And why are they owing Nigeria substantial amount of money? We know that Nigeria supply electricity to Benin Republic and some other African countries within the surroundings, but are they being asked to pay and they refuse to pay? And if they're not paying, why? So let's go into it. In the first quarter, about 4 international bilateral customers being supplied by the power generation companies made payment against the cumulative invoice of over $14.19 million that have been issued. Now, what we know is that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission revealed this in the second quarter of this year report. Out of the $15 million invoice that was issued by the market operator between April and June, the international customers have only remitted just less than $10 million. The question is, who are these countries and why are we not getting paid if we're supplying them, the electricity? The foreign companies of taking power from Nigeria are Sebi in Benin Republic, about $1.23 million, Transcorp Sebi in Benin Mainstream, in Togo, $1 million, Odukpa in Togo, $3.4 million. So you can see that within the surroundings are the neighboring countries that are getting electricity from Nigeria, but it seems that they are not making much payment, and that is also having a big impact as well.
Well, listeners, that is what is happening there when it comes to the usage of electricity and the fact that people are not paying for it. But what do you think Nigeria can do to do that? They'll be earning, they're supposed to earn foreign exchange from that as well. But let's see. Okay, we'll let Yomi bring us all the other stories that is making the rounds this morning. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, a country that loves sports so much, and you can imagine if things have not gone as planned, with the Nigerian sport this morning. So I've been following, some of the, the development in the last few hours before I came on air, to find out, why many Nigerians are not getting enough when it comes to electricity. The sport. This morning, the the Nigerian Football Federation, have now withdrawn the Super Eagles from the AFCON qualifier after the Libyan airport ordeal. Mr. Archie, a lot of Africans complain that when they travel through African countries, it looks like we are strangers to each other. Yeah. You could travel to Morocco and you could be accused of anything, and the negligence of such means that many Africans have suffered, the ordeal. But it's good when we see, this ordeal happening to, people that can then allow us to highlight it a little bit further, because when we talk to the government doesn't seem to care. So this morning, the Nigeria Football Federation has said that the Super Eagles will no longer take part in the 2025 AFCON qualifier against Libya after the Libyan authority delayed the Super Eagles at the Al Barak airport for more than 12 hours after landing. Wow. Imagine we are talking about, Africa to Africa. But I am not, convinced. I am not surprised. It's just that, it seems that to have this unity of Africa will go a long way, because it seems that everybody is just been, marginalizing each other. I mean, if you travel to European country, as long as you have not gone over any immigration issue, you should not be staying at the airport for 12 hours. Only if you have been picked for something and you'll be told exactly what. Mm-hmm. So a statement have now been issued by the NFF Communication Department this morning, say that the team were left unattended at the Al Barak airport. A video that was posted by the Eagles media team also confirmed the development, as the players, officials, along with their luggage, were just left stranded with the Libyan airport officials, indifferent to their plight. The Eagles departed on Sunday morning ahead of the 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifying match against the Mediterranean Knights. The Libya was to host three-time African champion at the 10,000 capacity Metia Bene Stadium in Benina, located about 10 kilometers from Benghazi. But the report emerged that they were diverted to another city. I don't know whether you want to talk about this before I continue or not.
Yeah, because, we, like you are saying, we talk about African unity, we talk about the fact that, we should, to travel from Ghana to Nigeria or to Benin or to Togo should be, there should be nothing like any friction there. It should be free flow. We travel to this place and nobody there stops you unless they have proper evidence. And even that, like you said, they will tell you exactly what has gone on. But for a whole, these are not just mere people. Let me put it that way. There is a national football team that is representing Nigeria. It's virtually like Nigeria President Tinubu traveling to Libya and they're stopping him there. That is what has happened. But I don't know what the Libyan authorities are going to say, because again, we know that Libya has never been the same after Gaddafi's being toppled, and so I don't know what exactly is going on. But have you had any information from the Libyan embassy in Nigeria, or even from the Libyan authorities themselves?
Nothing have come out from Libyan authority, but like I said, I believe sometimes their reaction is based on many Africans that are using the routes from there, to European countries and the Mediterranean Sea issues. But we are not talking about people that have, these are footballers. You are hosting them, you are aware that they are coming, and then you delay them for 12 hours. It shows that there is no respect, for each other. And this happened in South Africa. We see this happening even in Nigeria against other African countries. And the question is, how will we be able to work together to have a kind of a lovely place like, the European countries that travel, from one end to the other, especially, without any delay. But it seems that 12 hours is just, not to be tolerated. And you're quite right, since, the topple of Gaddafi, yeah. Libya has never been the Libya that we all know before.
Well, listeners, Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi Koiki in Manchester. I'm here in London, where we're bringing you updates. So we'll go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the round. Over to you, sir.
Well, because we know that we have other news coming up as well, so we still stick to more news coming, from this report from Manchester this morning, where we have traveled, with Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho. So let's give a little bit more highlight, to the event that graced, the Saturday, outing. Like we said, that outing was not just for the Nigerians alone; it was also for Africa, because it seems that, as we've said this morning, Africa is going through a lot. And that literally means that we need a united Africa, but we probably need a united Yoruba out of Africa, and then we can be able to work and retract, the effort of the indigenous people. So Chief Sunday Igboho, like I said, traveled to London, to grace this occasion. Yesterday, we also like to be grateful, to the Manchester Yoruba Nigerian community. There was a professor that was giving a presentation, last night, and that presentation, exactly what we have said, that there is a hidden agenda by those that were not part of Nigeria, the Fulanis, to invade and take over the land. It touched on many areas, especially when the former President Buhari said, all Fulanis from every part of Africa can come into Nigeria, and that has led to multiple Boko Haram attacks. And that is still happening as we speak this morning. So it seemed that the Manchester community are also one community that have done so well for themselves in terms of business selling and working in the NHS and also working in other healthcare sector as well. We would like to be grateful to Olori Eko, the host, and many others, Tito and the committee that brought us in, to Manchester, as Igboho is still, making his way to some other engagement this morning. And from there, let's go back to some of the other news headline before I go on what is happening on the social media. As usual, 2 people died in Lagos, multiple auto crash. That is coming from the, the news this morning. There was something that we would like to talk about, which is Nigeria was not snubbed. This is coming from the presidency to clarify the position on the 2024 United Nations Council election. You might be asking, what's this all about? The statement that any vote mistakenly attributed to Nigeria during the recent election will likely cast in error by other nations. Well, again, what is this all about is the question. The presidency has clarified that Nigeria was not among those who competed in the 2024 United Nations Human Rights Council election, which were held on October 9, 2024, some few days ago. According to the press statement signed by the Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, says Nigeria was not snubbed. The statement states that any vote mistakenly attributed to Nigeria during the recent election will likely cast. The question is, why are other nations casting vote for Nigeria when Nigeria was not on the list? Who do we believe? Do we believe the presidency, or do we believe those that casted the vote, but there was not enough vote for Nigeria? It seems that Nigeria is just on autopilot, as we always say. Let's take more, and then we will go back to you as well. Again, I have escalated the matter. This is now coming from the sport minister speaking on the Super Eagles ordeal in the Libya. According to the report, the sport minister, John Eno, says he has now escalated the ill treatment meted out to the Super Eagles. And I hope they'll be doing the same thing, especially Abike Dabiri, when it comes to, some of the issues that have been faced by many Nigerians, especially if the people like us that still travel with the Nigerian passport. You can imagine, the harassment that we have to go through. There's a story that is circulating, in the last 24 hours, buzzing the social media, and that is the Airpeace owner, Olayomi Allen, has now come out to maintain innocence as the U.S. charged him with obstruction of justice. Olayomi is the Airpeace owner that brings Nigeria, through Gatwick Airport, but it seems that there's a kind of a financial allegation by the United States authority. Also charged is Mrs. Ejiro Egbagba, the airline chief of administration and finance, for allegedly participating in the obstruction scheme as well as in the earlier bank fraud count. Let's give a little bit story. Airpeace has denied any wrongdoing by its chairman and chief executive officer, Dr. Allen Olayomi, and the chief finance of administration, Mrs. Ejiro Egbagba, who have been charged by the United States for alleged obstruction of justice. It was a statement that was released by the U.S. Attorney Office, said that Olayomi has been charged in a superseding indictment with obstruction of justice for submitting false documents to the government to end an investigation of him that resulted in the earlier charges of bank fraud and money laundering. Also charged is the finance chief of administration for allegedly participating in the obstruction scheme. We're talking about almost $20 million US here, bank fraud charge against Olayomi, which has now been for the last 5 years. So we see how this is going to happen. But all this has happened, according to the U.S. authority, as far back as 2019, in an effort to stop the investigation and unfreeze his bank account regarding the alleged 20 million bank fraud. So we will be monitoring that, and I'll be giving more report should we have that. But it seems that Olayomi is saying that I am innocent, but like we always say, you'll be innocent until proven guilty by the court or not guilty. Let's talk about politics in Nigeria. Zamfara speakers losses millions worth properties to home fire. The current PDP situation is embarrassing. Party haunted by election loss. This is coming from Fayose, the former Ekiti state governor. And also Edo government right Okpa Bolo APC on the formation of transition team. And the last one is Tomori to politicians rather than steal resign if your constituent place outrageous demands. Well, Mr. Archie, I've never seen a Nigerian politician, but I believe the former finance minister then, Kemi Adeosun, resigned, even though there was pressure by Buhari then not to allow her to resign. But she resigned, and since then, she has gone very quiet. So we'll take that particular story, then we go straight to what is happening on the social media. You're still watching the Starr Radio UK morning show this morning. And like I said, we'll be giving you all the report. And like if all goes as planned tomorrow, we might have Igbowo himself speaking to us on this program. Elder statesman and professor of virology, Oyewale Tomori, says politicians using the numerous financial demands of their constituents as justification for fat salaries and allowances can do better. He said rather than polluting government coffers to meet the seeming outrageous demand of their constituents, such politicians should rather resign and not be put under pressure to indulge in a sharp practice. The elder statement was on a guest on the program Inside Source with Laolu Akonde. Laolu Akonde was a former, working with the vice president, but as usual, he's gone back, presenting on the media as well. A social political program that was aired on one of the mainstream media. According to him, both the leaders, the followers, have exclusive roles to play to restore the glory of Nigeria. But the Yoruba are saying there's no glory that can be restored in Nigeria. The Biafra are saying the same thing. Even the Arewa has come out again and saying, the report, I'm getting this morning is that the breakup of Nigeria will be in the interest of everyone. And as I say, it seems that that story has also circulated, this morning. But let's take you to what is happening on the social media. Like I said, Igbowo is trending. Let's speak some of what is happening. Ifafunsho says, and I quote, thanks to Sunday Igbowo for submitting petition to the British to remind them that there will be reconstruction of Nigeria. The wedding between different ethnic nations who don't speak the same languages isn't working, and we won't wait for freedom to be given. We will take it by ourselves. That is coming from some of the, the trending news, of Igbowo. And like I said, we would like to also be grateful to Bishop Adesina, where he was able, to allow, a good, salutation to Igbowo, on Saturday, where all that happened as well. Also, a lot of news reaction as more news, are reporting this event of Saturday, and that is the worst, the most trending, on the social media this morning. But to finish it up, also Simon Ekpa posted, on Saturday that at exactly 1400 hours, Dr. Chief Sunday Igbowo delivered a petition to the UK Prime Minister on behalf of Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the leader of the Yoruba Nation movement, and Olayomi Koiki, spokesman, with the diaspora youth leader, Prophet Ologoluwa, with the Vice President of Ifelodun Apapo, with Fatai Ogunribido, the General Secretary of the Yoruba World Media, and Alaja Adeyeye, member of the Yoruba Nation movement, Paul Odebi Bedu, member of the Yoruba Nation movement. And we go straight to Simon Ekpa's and take one or two from there, and then I'll come back, we end this broadcast. But like we say, it seems that the Biafra continue to say, until we give or we take. Is either you give us or we take it by force. Breaking Simon Ekpa 1 hour ago. Biafra Monday sit at home today. Biafra self-referendum. Biafra vote of no confidence on Nigeria and vote of confidence on the Biafra government continue today with a massive sit at home compliance. This sit at home has been going on now for more than 4 years.
Well, they think that they are in control, but you can see that the forces behind are more in control there. But who knows what is going to happen on that front. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Olayomi Koiki has been with us this morning all the way from Manchester, bringing you everything that happened with the Yoruba Nation gathering, the dinner night, the Million March, and then the event that took place in Manchester as well. And as he has promised, tomorrow, God willing, keeping fingers and everything crossed. Those who have to fast and pray, go and fast and pray. We'll try to see where we can help Dr. Chisande Adeyemo Igboho with us. Yes? Okay, so make sure your dials are logged on Star Radio UK. But Yomi, before we go, someone are asking now with the presentation that the Yoruba Nation you and the team, Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho presented to the UK government, how and with the post that Samuel Ekpa has also posted this morning, how do you see that? Does it give them some hope that look, we can all do something about it?
Well, like we always have said, that what we want is a peaceful, de-amalgamation of Nigeria. The Yorubas are not going anywhere. The land belongs to them. The location belongs to them. They are indigenous people that have been existing for thousands of years until the British, amalgamation in 1914. And what we are saying is, de-amalgamate it. The Biafra are saying that they will make a full declaration in December 2nd, which is just, some 2 months away from today. The Yorubas are continuing with their diplomatic way of presentation to tell the world, the United Nations, and like I said, Igboho and Babakitoye and the rest of the team are working to make sure that we don't want a bloodshed, as we've seen that every freedom always comes with bloodshed. But some people believe that, with this letter make any impact. Let us continue to remind that the UK is still, even though we have been an independent country, but they still can do something. And if they refuse to do something, as Simon Ekpa have said, as Babakitoye have said, as Igboho have said, we would then have to take it by the bull, by the horn, whatever, however, we believe that we will take it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Bible says something. It says, since the time of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven is suffering violence, and it's a violence who can take it by force. But what do you think about all that? Well, we brought you everything that you need to know. But before Yomi goes, Yomi.
Well, it's good to be back with you, Archie. And now last week, as much as I was trying as best to get into the program, but we had to keep going back to the airport. I was at Heathrow Airport twice, last week. And again, there was a lot of other activities. But this week, we'll be rest assured because we're still traveling with Igboho, but we don't want to let everything out of the bag. But for now, we're still in Manchester, and we will do everything to make sure that on the Monday to Friday, we'll be joining you to give all the report. But for those of you that do not know, make sure you follow. Click that button, because Star Radio UK is part of the African diaspora radio station that brings the report between 24 hours section and different programs. As we leave you, remember that we'll also be having Linda Pallien that will be joining us later. But for now, I'll leave you in the good hands of Mr. Archie, and I'll be back again tomorrow at exactly 11 o'clock. Greetings to all those that have joined us on the platform from the sister and those that are listening from around the world. And since Igboho has been in the UK, it looks like everyone now is gluing to hear maybe there might be more to get out of the bag. But for now, we're not letting everything out yet.
Okay, Yomi, have a lovely day, and we'll catch up later.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria with events that took place here pertaining to the Yoruba Nation. But, I cannot do this by not playing any song in commemoration of that. Now, if you have a cause that you want to chat and you want us to be part of it, or you want us to support you or to give you the platform to do so, just get in touch and we'll do so. But let me bring you this song from Jeanette. And she says, Yoruba Nation, enjoy it, and I'll be with you. Stay tuned.
Yorùbá nation ọ̀fẹ́ wájẹ́ tún pa. nation la fẹ́. Ebi ń pa wá, ìyà ń jẹ wá. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Àwọn sàbòrò ló ti pa wá tán. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ wa ń ṣe wọ́n Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Nísìnyí o, Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ẹ pariwo ẹ gbóhùn sókè. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ẹ jẹ́ kó dàmọ̀, ẹ jẹ́ kó rí gbọ́. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ sókè nísìnyí o. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ọmọdé ìlú máa ń pariwo. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Àgbà ìlú ti gbóhùn sókè. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Obìnrin ìlú dẹ̀ faraya. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Àwa ò ṣe wọ́n Nàìjíríà mọ́. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Èyí tí àjẹ́ wa ó ti tó. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Òṣì máa pọ̀ lápọ̀jù. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ẹ̀yà àjẹ́ tún pa wá. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ebi ń pa wá, ìyà ń jẹ wá. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Àwọn sàbòrò ló ti pa wá tán. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ọmọ Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Orí títí náà sọ.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà.
You are listening to Star Radio Morning Show.
Ọmọ wọn Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá
Star Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Bírèkì ìtọ́ni sẹ́yìn o. Yorùbá World Voice dẹ̀ ń pariwo. Yorùbá Nation ní ìsinyìí o. Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà máa ń faraya. Àwa ò ṣe wọ́n Nàìjíríà mọ́ o. OPC fìgìláńtẹ́. Ẹgbẹ́ Yorùbá lápapọ̀. Gbogbo wọn ti gbóhùn sókè. Yorùbá Nation ní ìsinyìí o. Akíntóyè bàbá ń pariwo. Good night to Nigeria. Yèyé Òṣàtọ́lá ń pariwo.
This is Starr Radio UK.
To Nigeria. Bàbá rọpò ẹ̀kí gbogbo. Bàbá kọ́kọ́ ti gbóhùn sókè. Bye bye to Nigeria. Dára top show ń faraya. Àwa ò ṣe wọ́n
Okay, that is Jeanette for you. Say Yoruba Nation.
pariwo.
Say bye bye to Nigeria. But I bet you the president and his team will be doing everything possible to make to get it together. But if you're looking at everything that is going on, the Arewa group, and then we have the Yoruba Nation, and then we have the what do you call them, the Igbos, or the Biafrans, who are also saying that we want out, we want out, we want out. Why can't the nation or the leadership just say, okay, let's give these ones a chance to vote on the quest to leave the union if they don't want it? If they lose, yes, a referendum. If they lose, fine. Then you know that they've lost. Like what happened in Scotland, when the Scottish were saying, we want out, we want out, we want out. Talking about marginalization, talking about being controlled and everything. Well, the UK government decided, okay, that is let's go on, have a referendum. Everybody campaigned, and at the end of the day, they lost the election, the referendum, and they decided they have to stay, whether they like it or not, because at least they were given the opportunity to do so. And we can all sit here and say boldly that, look, we could see that it was a free and a fair election there. Even if election is given, or a referendum is given, how do you think it's going to be panning out? Is it not going to be influenced? Is it going to be free and fair? Or some of the big hands there who are chopping or enjoying it will try to manipulate it? What do you think about all that? Lots more going to be coming your way from there. It is Starr Radio UK. Let's take a quick break. We come back and I bring you some of the other stories making the rounds this morning. Don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting, then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy. Welcome back to the program. This is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now exactly to just 12. The program will be brought to a close at 12:30. But now let's go to look at some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. Once again, let me say thank you very much to Mr. Olayomi, Koiki, and the team who organized the dinner night and the 1 million march and the birthday celebration in Manchester. It's been quite a very busy week towards the weekend as well, and it's been quite a good one. But as we did say, we'll try to see whether, God willing, tomorrow we can bring you Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho on the show. Now let's come to the UK front here. Let's look at what is happening here this morning. Now, fraudulent deals have been going on, and we have some individuals who are complaining pertaining to that. A man who had £165,000 stolen from his Revolut business account by fraudsters has said Panorama to the BBC Panorama program, he believes the company's security measures failed to prevent the theft. He says criminals managed to bypass the ID verification process to gain access to his account. So far, Revolut have refused to refund this money. The BBC has found that
the Revolut was named in more reports of fraud in the last financial year than any of the major high street banks. The e-money firm, which has not yet been granted full status as a bank, says it takes fraud incredibly seriously and that it has a robust control to meet its legal and regulatory obligations. Now, Revolut is among a number of new digital-only financial institutions that offer all their services online or through an app. There are no branches to go to. The firm has grown rapidly and amassed more than 45 million customers worldwide, of which 9 million are in the UK. It almost tripled its revenue to £1.8 billion in 2023. Its accounts are quick to open and offer competitive foreign exchange rates in an easy-to-use app. Now, these were the features that attracted Jack, who runs an international business and needs to hold multiple different currencies, to Revolut. Now, Jack, who asked not to use his real name, said he was also reassured by the security features Revolut promotes in their advertising. In February, Jack was in a co-working space when he received a phone call from a scammer pretending to be from Revolut. He was told he was being called because his account might have been compromised through being on a shared Wi-Fi. Now, Jack was tricked into handing over enough information to allow the scammers to put his Revolut account onto their device. This meant that they could see all his previous transactions, including a purchase at the online retailer Etsy that morning. Now, while Jack was still on the phone to the scammers, a text from Revolut arrived asking him to confirm the exact same amount he had spent, that is £21.98, by typing in a 6-digit security code. He said, "Yes, that was me," and read out the code to the scammers. What Jack didn't realize was that they had set up their own account, also called Etsy, and by sharing the code Revolut had sent him, he was authorizing a new payment to their fake account instead. Now, 2 similar texts followed to authorize payment of small amounts to 2 other further fake accounts called Revolut Fees and Revolut Fees Care. Jack also approved these, which meant he had been tricked into setting up 3 new payees. This opened the floodgates and thousands of pounds began to fly out of his account. As soon as Jack realized he was being scammed, he contacted Revolut, but there was no dedicated helpline, just a chat function deep within the app. I messaged them saying, "I've been scammed, please freeze my account," he told the BBC. It took 23 minutes to reach the right department that could freeze the account, during which time another 67,000 had been taken. Jack is now out of pocket by £165,000. He thinks Revolut system failed him in several ways. He believes criminals managed to bypass facial recognition software to gain access to his account on their device. If an account is set up on a new device, Revolut asks for a selfie, which Jack says he did not provide. Wow. So if you're listening to us and you fall prey to this victim, to this scammers, please be aware. At least he's sharing his experience with us, especially those of you with Revolut as well. If you are going through anything of the sort, please be aware. Be aware. All right, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's move on to some other stories making the rounds this morning. Now, Sir Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, has promised to scrap regulation that needlessly holds back investment in the UK as he opened a major business summit in London. Sir Keir Starmer told business leaders he wants to rip out bureaucracy and asked the UK's competition watchdog to prioritize growth. The boss of US pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly, David Ricks, told the BBC changes to regulation would encourage his firm to increase investment in the UK. However, the government is facing a balancing act ahead of the budget in 2 weeks' time, having already signaled that some taxes will rise. On Sunday, Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds did not rule out an increase in the national insurance paid by employers. So if you're an employer, this morning that is the news for you. You're going to be paying more. He said he didn't rule that out. Now, Labour pledged in its manifesto not to raise national insurance at all. But Reynolds said that pledge it was taxes on working people. So it was specifically in the manifesto a reference to employees and to income tax. So, but employers, little ones like us who have staff will have to now start paying more. Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, let's move on to one other story from the UK front at 6 minutes past the top of the hour, and then we move on from there. Okay, a couple of them. Just bear with me. David Lammy has become the first foreign secretary since Brexit to attend a regular meeting of EU foreign ministers as part of Labour's reset with Europe. Now, Lammy travelled to the meeting as a special guest of EU High Representatives for Foreign Affairs Joseph Borrell to discuss the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East and Labour's agenda. Since Brexit, British ministers meet EU counterparts only rarely. Liz Truss, the then foreign secretary, attended an emergency meeting in March 2022 in response to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Arriving at the meeting in Luxembourg, Lammy hailed the meeting as a historic moment that marks our EU reset. He described EU and UK security as indivisible. This time, whether it is the aggression of Russia in Ukraine, the tremendous issues and conflicts in the Middle East, or global affairs and geopolitical affairs, more generally, it is hugely important that the UK and Europe remain steadfast, he said. The Foreign Office said UK attendance at the meeting will be part of more regular engagement with plans for closer working on international affairs. Lammy previously said the meeting will be the start of a new habit of UK-EU cooperation. The test will be whether all these moves beyond diplomatic courtesy to a meaningful substance. Borrell said the meeting will address how we can grow together in security issues. We are convinced that in these dark moments, with so many challenges around the world, a strong continent, because we are part of the same continent, requires a strong partnership, he said. The trip follows last week's meeting between the Prime Minister and the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen for talks in Brussels. Sir Keir Starmer promised to offer pragmatic, sensible leadership as he pushed for a reset in the UK-EU relationship after turbulence of the Conservative years. Now, von der Leyen said the various post-Brexit arrangements like the trade and cooperation agreement signed in December 2020 needed to be fully implemented to move forward. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. In another story before we leave, the well-being of children and young people is at risk from cuts to local services, the Children's Commissioner has warned. And in an analysis show, local authorities are making £3 billion in savings this financial year, but still face a funding shortfall of more than £5.7 billion by 2026 to 2027. Now, local government experts said councils had carried out all the easy cuts years ago and were now struggling to protect vital children and adult social care services. Now, Children's Commissioner Dame Rachel D. Souza said children must not pay the price for balancing budgets. Now, local government minister Jim McMahon said the new government had inherited a crisis and there was no shying away from the scale of it. And another data shared by the BBC unit surveyed 187 upper tier authorities in the UK which provide service for adult social care to bin collection and pothole repairs, as well as having a growing black hole in their finances. Councils were forced to dip into their reserves this year, drawing down more than 1 billion in an effort to balance their books. And 19 of them have called for financial support from the government, an unprecedented number according to the Local Government Association. Ladies and gentlemen, Starr Radio UK at 11 minutes past the top of the hour. Final story from the UK front. A public inquiry has begun in Salisbury to examine the 2018 poisoning of Dawn Sturgis. Now, her death was blamed on 2 Russian agents after she came into contact with the nerve agent Novichok. Now, it had been hidden inside a designer perfume bottle. The inquiry chair, Lord Anthony Hughes, said the case was a private tragedy. The inquiry will examine the circumstances leading to her death. Russia denies any involvement and has described the inquiry as a circus, because you know that for sure you cannot come for their individuals who were caught up in that. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Moving on to some other international stories. Fighting Russia and the low morale on Ukraine's most dangerous front line. The people have low morals there, and they are asking the question, what can be done for them to be able to put their morale up, and then they will be able to some way, somehow stand and fight for their beloved country. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. In other stories as well, China on Monday launched new military drills off the coast of Taiwan in what it described as punishment for a speech given by its President William Lai when he vowed to resist annexation or encroachment upon our sovereignty. Now, China claims the self-governing island of Taiwan as its own, and its president Xi Jinping has vowed to retake it by force if necessary. Now, Taiwan said it detected 34 naval vessels and 125 aircraft in formation around the island on Monday. Now, maps published by the Chinese state media indicated its forces were positioned around the whole island. It said later on Monday that the drills had been successfully concluded. The Chinese military, known as the People's Liberation Army, said the drills involved all wings of the army and were designed to simulate attacking Taiwan by land, sea, and air. Now, Senior Captain Li Zi, a spokesperson of the PLA Eastern Theater Command, said the drills fully tested the integrated joint operation capabilities of its troops. Taiwan's airport and port continued functioning as normal. An earlier statement from the Taiwanese Defense Ministry condemned the Chinese move and said its priority was to avoid direct clashes which could escalate the standoff further. Outlying islands were put on high alert, it added. Now, the Chinese Foreign Ministry confirmed it has simulated military assaults and port blockades and described Taiwanese independence as being incompatible with peace in the region. Oh, man! At times you ask yourself the question, what kind of world do we live in at all? What kind of world do we live in at all? Starr Radio UK. A Hezbollah drone attack killed 4 Israeli soldiers at an Israeli army base south of Haifa on Sunday night. It's one of the deadliest attacks against Israel by Hezbollah in over a year of fighting. In Lebanon, the health ministry says 51 people were killed by Israeli strikes across the country on Sunday. In Gaza, Hamas-run authorities say an Israeli attack on a school used as a shelter killed 22 people on Sunday, including 15 children. Well, that's some of the information coming from the Middle East. Now, moving on to the Americas as well. In Mexico, the decapitated bodies of 5 men have been found on a road in central Mexico in an area controlled by the powerful Jalisco New Generation cartel. Now, police were called to a road near the town of Ojelos in Jalisco State on Sunday morning after plastic bags containing the remains were spotted by drivers. Forensic experts have been trying to identify the victims. Officials said the brutality of the murders and the disposal of the bodies in a public place are clear indications of drug cartel involvement. National Guard troops also attended the scene and found the remains wrapped in black plastic bags, the Jalisco State Prosecutor's Office said in a statement. None of the victims' ages could be determined yet, and an investigation has been launched to it added. In Jalisco, this year, official figures show that 1,450 people were murdered between January and September. More than 30,000 people are killed every year in Mexico, which has one of the world's highest murder rates. Now, last week, the mayor of Mexican City, plagued by drug violence, was murdered less than a week after taking office. Alejandro Arcos was killed in Chilpancingo, a city around 280,000 people in the southwestern state of Guerrero. Now, President Claudia Sheinbaum, who was sworn in last week, has ruled out return to the war on drugs of previous administration. She said her security plan will focus on gathering intelligence on cartels and addressing the social cause of violence, a strategy referred to as hugs, not bullets, by her predecessor in office, Andre Manuel Lopez Obrador. But the opposition is calling for a tougher action against the gangs. Now, since government first began to use the Mexican military against the cartels in 2006, hundreds of thousands of people have been killed and tens of thousands more gone missing. So coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. President Joe Biden has pledged half a billion dollars to restore power for reeling Floridians. That's some of the stories making the round. But Trump electric vehicle attack hit home for Michigan voters. Let's see what that has said. A longtime resident of the North Detroit suburb of Warren, Michigan, Doe spends part of his days building electric vehicles for Ford as a machine repairman. But will never buy one. The former Democrat and unionized auto worker Doe, who declined to share his name for fear of pushback from his union, is exactly the type of Michigan voter Donald Trump is working to recruit, and Kamala Harris is eager to win back. Now, with 16 electoral votes, the state is hefty prize. Biden won it in 2020 by about a 3-point lead or 150,000 votes, but polls show another Democratic victory is far from certain. With less than a month before election day, the former president has been stoking fears in the state that Harris wants to ban gas-powered vehicles and the auto workers could lose their jobs in the push to electrify cars. The message is resonating with Doe and some of the other Michigan voters who spoke to correspondents. It could definitely cost us our jobs, and it already has cost a lot of people their jobs, Doe said on a sunny October day outside Meyer Supermarket in Warren. Well, so just take any fake news and just present it, and boy, you should have some people following it. If you're not there to defend that, I don't know what is going to happen. A man in illegal possession A man in illegal possession of a shotgun and a loaded handgun was arrested at an intersection near Donald Trump's rally in Coachella, California on Saturday. The 49-year-old suspect, Van Miller, was driving a black SUV when he was stopped at a security checkpoint by officers, now who located the 2 firearms and a high-capacity magazine. Now, Mr. Miller was then taken into custody without incident. The Riverside County Sheriff Office said he was later released and told U.S. media he was a Trump supporter who was not planning to harm the Republican presidential candidate. The U.S. Secret Service said Trump was not in any danger and that the incident did not impact protective operations. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco also said the encounter did not affect the safety of Trump or the rally attendees at all. Okay, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now moving on straight. Just bear with me, please. Okay, moving on straight to some of the other stories making the rounds on the African continent. Now, what do you think will help our people to stop them from traveling to this part of the world, especially when we talk about the issues pertaining to what is going on by those who try to use the Mediterranean, those who are crossing the Sahara, and all those bits. But what do you think can be the factor, or what will go into place to stop people from embarking on that dangerous trip? But we have one man who has said that, well, he will try or die. A Senegalese farmer, Mohamed Wali, has never been to sea, but he is about to embark on a perilous sea journey, one that has turned the Atlantic Ocean into a mass grave. The boat guys have called me. They said I should get ready. And I'm asking to be prayed for. The time has come, he says. Now, the information said that some information coming through the BBC has gained unprecedented access to the secretive world of the migrants. Mr. Kwali wants to be one of the migrants to reach the archipelago, whose numbers have reached an all-time high there as well. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. But is it wise at all? But again, I'll tell you that when things like this is happening, it's our leaders who have to look down in shame, because they failed us with all the resources and everything they failed people. For people to be, to even go into criminality, if leadership was, if even in this part of the world where there's rule of law and stuff like that, if the laws are not working and institutions are not working, people will love to be involved in criminality. We have criminalities going on, but because the system seems to be working, institutions are working, you do that one come after you, and therefore it serves as a deterrent to most people. However, this is a case where our leaders are not doing that. We have resources, and instead of us to look at maybe primary resources being enhanced or developed into something else, or adding value to it before we sell them, we just want to just quickly take the raw material, sell it to some people at terpens and pitters, or whichever we want to term it, and the next moment they are sold, they go refine it, add value to it, and come and sell it back to us. Then what is the point? Starr Radio UK. Let me say good morning to Omobolaji. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much for joining us. Omobolaji Abdullahi. How are you doing? Okay. Starr Radio UK. We got about another 6 minutes to bring the program to a close. My apologies, today we'll not be able to bring you HRH Linda Pallien, because we had to have enough time to actually go into the story of what happened yesterday That is apologies, Friday, Saturday, and of course Sunday as well. With the Yoruba Nation, and that is why. So just bear with us. I want to say thank you very much for doing so as well. In other stories making the rounds, let me just move on straight to Ghana. The bishops of Accra Archdiocese, alongside thousands of Catholic parishioners, organized an environmental prayer walk in the Ghanaian capital to protect the destructive effect of illegal mining, or galamsey. The peaceful demonstration on Friday aimed at raising awareness about the environmental damage caused by galamsey culminated in the presentation of petition to the presidency. The protesters united in their call for stronger environmental protection and an end to galamsey, which has ravaged Ghana's water bodies and ecosystem. It is the fight of all of us, the policymakers, those who are involved in business, our traditional leaders, and indeed every Ghanaian. The director, governance, justice, and peace chaplain to Parliament and the representatives of the Ghana Catholic Bishop Conference, former Father Michael Kwaku, said there. Okay, so in Ghana, I'm trying to look at which one to pick, but don't you worry. A fellow at the CDD Ghana and pharmacist, Dr. Kwame Seydou Sapong, has described as illogical claims that the opposition National Democratic Congress is orchestrating the ongoing industrial strike by the University Teachers Association of Ghana. Now, explaining his position on a radio program, he said, "I was once a lecturer at NUS. Whenever we voted at the university, everyone knew the MPP would win by a large margin. So if such people participate in an industrial action with 4 out of 5 in favor, nobody can convince me that the NDC is behind the strike." He emphasized the independence of academia, noting that many lecturers, despite their potential support for Dr. Bawumia, voted for the strike due to concerns over illegal mining. He said, "One thing I know about my colleagues in academia is that they are very independent-minded." Now, many of those who voted for the industrial action will likely vote for Dr. Bawumia, but their decisions were based on their stance on illegal mining, he stressed. Okay, is that true or is that false? What do you think about all that? Now, another protester of the hashtag Stop Galamsey Now protester has shared his experience of being arrested, alleging that his detention was unlawful and marred by violations of his rights. "I was not even picked up at the demonstration site," he revealed, adding, "I was arrested at Vienna City on Monday 23rd, raising questions about the legality of the arrest." The hashtag Galamsey Now movement started as a grassroots effort to end illegal mining or galamsey in Ghana. The movement has called for tougher government action to halt the environmental destruction caused by galamsey, particularly the contamination of water bodies. Now, during the protest, several demonstrators were arrested amid claims of police provocation and unlawful detention. Some protesters reported being taken into custody away from the protest site without being informed of their charges for days. Despite these arrests, the movement remains committed to pushing for stronger enforcement of anti-galamsey laws to protect Ghana's natural resources. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One final story and there we go. Food and Agri Minister Brian Chambon says declaring a state of emergency to combat illegal mining, aka galamsey, will be ineffective without the active involvement of local communities. In an interview, he said, the minister highlighted the need for a national dialogue that engages all sectors of society to confront the crisis head on. Achiampong stressed that while government interventions have been launched, including deploying security forces, the challenge is beyond the scope of military or police action. If we spread 34,000 soldiers across the country, they won't even be able to stop Galamsey in the Ashanti region alone. We need communal efforts, not just central government enforcement, he stated. The minister noted that while security personnel perform short-term acts of enforcement, illegal miners quickly return once the soldiers leave, which is why a community-led approach is essential. Now, Achiampong emphasized the critical role of the community members in protecting their lands and resources. He pointed out that those directly affected by the environmental devastation of Galamsey, such as polluted rivers and destroyed farmlands, need to take the lead. You need a mindset change by the people in the community. When you fight the people who are destroying your land and polluting your waters, security personnel can back you up. But if you wait for central government to bring in soldiers or police, they don't come and stay there, he stated. Well, a picture before me is a very bad one. A farmland, well, now tend to some, is it ponds, various ponds, brownish or tea-ish, whichever term that you think would describe it the most or better. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say thank you very much for joining in. But whatever you do tomorrow, make sure you make a date with us when we come your way with another edition of the morning show. It's been me, Archie, so Olayomi, Koiki, and all of you wonderful people who joined us on the various platforms to listen to us this morning. I say have a lovely afternoon. Enjoy your day, but enjoy this song from the Zongo man. He says what? Be nice. Because if you are really nice, you won't do Galamsey, Abi. Okay. Enjoy it. Bye-bye for now.
Hey! Kokoti. 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 Be nice to your brethren. Be nice to your sister. Be nice to everyone and make the world.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Say hello to everyone. Everyone say hello.
Thanks for listening.
Everyone smile, brother. Don't smile in my face and stab me hard in the back. You are the bully, oppressor, and a gangster. You're just a bombing, stabbing, shooting, killing, murdering innocent children, harassing them in the neighborhood, disturbing the peace in the neighborhood. Why can't you be nice, hey, and kind? Be nice to your husband. Be nice to your wife. Be nice to your colleagues. Be nice to your mates. Be nice to your friends. Be nice to your neighbors. Be nice to everyone.